evening, everybody. We want to welcome you to the Villa Park Junior Women's Club Political Forum. Thank you to our candidates for being here. Thank you to you at home watching, and thank you to our audience here tonight. I'm Angie Rojek. I'm the president of the Junior Women's Club. We're really excited about this opportunity to kind of bring you all together and let everybody see who they're voting for in April. Our club does not endorse any candidates. I just wanted to remind everyone of that. We're simply kind of just providing a public service to Villa Park. Let everybody see you guys and see what you're all about. We're beginning our evening tonight with the trustee candidates. Halfway through, we'll switch over to our two presidential candidates. Everybody will have 2 minutes to answer each of the questions that we've provided. We have timekeepers throughout the audience to kind of keep you guys on track. And as a reminder, there are no questions from the audience. These have all been kind of pre-screened from the community. So thank you all very much for coming tonight. Why don't we start with you, John? We're just going to let everyone kind of have a couple minutes to talk about yourself. Why did you decide to run? When did you decide to run? All that fun stuff.
Well, thank you. And I'll keep this brief. My name is John Davis, and I've been serving the residents of Villa Park since 2006. I'm married with my wife, Kelly, and we have 3 daughters. We've been in the same house on the north side of town for the last 20 years. In all honesty, before 2006, I had nothing to do with politics. I just went around doing my own business. And as a lot of you might know, I got involved through railroad safety after my daughter lost a bunch of friends through tragic accidents. And at that point, there was an open spot on the board. And at that time, President Stepizia nominated me to be the one open seat. I received all but one trustee's nomination for it. And ever since then, I've been trying to serve the town with honesty and integrity the best that I can. And we work with what we have in town. So, quick enough.
Good. Rich, you want to go ahead?
Hello, everyone. First, I want to thank the Junior Women's Club in the Village for having us here. This is awesome. Most of you already know me. Some of you don't. My name is Rich Piagioli. I moved to Villa Park in 1975. I went to Schaefer School, Jefferson, and graduated from Willowbrook in '88. I accelerated in music, winning multiple competitions, including a national championship in New Orleans. I was a member of the Hinsdale Opera Theater Children's Chorus. I was involved in Villa Park baseball as a child and gymnastics. I was a warrior wrestler and a football player. In 1990, I got my start in the fire service. I was hired by Yorkfield Fire Protection and an ambulance company, Superior. I worked my way at Superior to training officer, field supervisor, and a manager. In 1995, Villa Park hired me part-time. A couple years after that, I worked for a contract ambulance service, or a contract service as a paramedic for Western Springs and Oak Brook Terrace. Villa Park hired me here in 2000. During my time here, I've taught fire safety, Operation Lifesaver to all the schools in town, CPR instructor. I'm a certified child safety seat installer for all of our residents. I received a commendation for exemplary service to humanity in 2001. I was offered a position at Downers Grove Fire Department some time ago, and I turned them down, saying that this was my commitment. I grew up in Villa Park. I wanted to stay here. I'm vested in this town. So I coach girls softball for Lombard, and I coach for the youth Villa Park baseball teams. I have 4 children. Brittany should be 22. She graduated from Willowbrook. She's now studying to be a firefighter. Nicholas, who passed in 1993. Connor, who's 8 years old and attending Ardmore. And then Dominic is 3 years old. I was told by many residents that I need to put my hat in the ring and run for office, something I needed to do. I feel it's a duty to act, and I commit myself to this position. I am not a politician at all. But I am very vested in this town. I'm committed to protecting, giving aid, and teaching everybody in Villa Park as best as I can. I've watched missed opportunities go by in this town. If I'm elected, I want to grab those opportunities, move forward, never stand still. I will work for your family as hard as I can. Thank you.
Thanks, Rich. Tony, you want to tell us about yourself?
I've been a Villa Park resident for 50 years. My first address was 540 North Princeton. My second address was 336 West Adams, and I currently reside at 50 Rand Road with my wife, Carol, a retired flight attendant. We had 5 children, 15 grandchildren, 11 great-grandchildren. My 5 children all went and graduated District 45, and Willowbrook High School. Spent my entire career in the food and beverage industry, started as a salesman with Canada Dry Corporation and rose to general manager Wheeling and then the same position in South Holland. The company franchised. Obviously, I lost my job. 1981, 19 and a half years, 6 months short of my pension. I stayed in the food and beverage industry, started as a salesman with Canada Dry Corporation and rose to general manager, as I said, in Wheeling and South Holland. Company franchised, and I left. I went into the food brokerage business. Finished my career at Euclid Beverage. I hope some of you guys' favorite company, Miller Beer. And I also introduced, for the ladies and for the gentlemen, Arizona iced tea to the Chicago market. I was a District 88 school board member for 8 years, served as vice president and president. I was chairman of the District 45 Athletic Boosters for 10 years. I raised over $200,000. Taxpayers did not have to pay for transportation, new uniforms, breakaway rims, on and on and on at both middle schools. Successfully had athletics reinstated at Jackson and Jefferson Middle Schools, District 45 Community Person of the Year, 45 Key Contributor, and Illinois School Board Association Award for Education Excellence in the state of Illinois. I'm a referee. 50% of you like me when I blow the whistle and 50% of you don't. I try to be fair. I've spent 48 years doing that. I've officiated 6 state championships, 3 in girls basketball and 3 in football. Currently, last year's 4A state championship was my game, and the final state championship that I'll do. Interests involve family members and their activities. Obviously, there are enough family members to keep me busy. Travel, activities and travel, senior national games participant in track. I represent Villa Park, Illinois, in the senior national games every 2 years. 2 years ago in Stanford University, Palo Alto, and this July at Cleveland State University. We're senior ranked, a senior softball with nationally ranked pro health team out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, half Illinois, half Wisconsin. We are currently national and world champions in 75 senior softball. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for being here tonight, Tony. How about you, Greg? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Greg Hassler. I grew up in Elmhurst, actually right at St. Charles in 83, specifically where West Avenue dead ends into the Prairie Path. And as a kid, me and my brothers, we'd ride the Prairie Path frequently through Villa Park. We spent a lot of paper route money at Al's Smoke Shop. And after high school, I moved out to Oak Park. I lived there for about 10 years and got married, and the kids came along, and Oak Park seemed kind of too urban for me, and I wanted to find something similar to what I grew up with in Elmhurst. The Elmhurst I grew up in is long gone. They tore it down and redeveloped it. Villa Park is very similar. It's close to family, and I love the fact that not much had changed since I was a kid. But unfortunately, not much has changed since I was a kid. I had a great opportunity being part of the Comprehensive Advisory Committee. One of the first things I did to really get active. And part of it were these public meetings where the residents got together and gave their input. And it was an opportunity to meet people. And really, I figured, I'm really on the same page with a lot of people around here. Let's get it done. I see a lot of things that are not getting done. Some of the decisions are not leading us down that path of the comprehensive plan. I'm currently on the Planning and Zoning Board, and it keeps me active, and it lets me stay involved. And I think I just want to kind of take it to the next step, get involved, move this village down the path I think the residents want to go. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Thanks so much. How about you, Rodney? Talk to us about yourself.
Thank you, Angie. Thank you for having us here. Ladies and gentlemen of the community, it's so great to see you all here this evening and see so many friendly faces and people have helped with my campaign. I really appreciate you being here tonight. My name is Rodney Pate. I live 213 South Princeton. I've been there for 21 years. My children went to Ardmore, Jackson, and graduated from Willowbrook. They're now both attending college and doing quite well. I'm no stranger to community service. I've been doing it since I was a young child, serving in my communities. As an adult, I served 8 years in the United States Marine Corps for my country. I consider that obviously one of our larger communities. In this village, I've served for 6 years on the Summerfest Commission. I'm a commissioner on that group right now. I'm on 501(c) that helped develop the skate park that you see next to Iowa Community Center, which is beautiful, and we've been working on that a long time. Paulina Jimenez is the chairman of that board, and she is quite fantastic in what she does. So many years doing a lot of things in the community, and I continue to do those things. And that's why I'm running. I want to continue to do a lot more. What I bring to the table is 26 years of experience in the business world. I have a degree from DePaul University in project management and computer science technology, and I'll bring those skills to bear in the job that I do here. In the Marine Corps, I got to manage people who had guns, but you do that with respect and teamwork. It doesn't matter what they have with them, okay? So that's the same thing I want to bring to this community, more of the same, and a winning spirit. Villa Park, I said it last night to a group, I don't want it to be a good community. And I said, you can repeat. Yep, Rodney said he doesn't want it to be a good community. I want it to be a great community. I want it to be a community that people drive through and say, can I live here? That's all.
Good, thank you. Thank you, Rodney. How about you, Bob?
My name's Bob Taglia. I'm a current member of the Board of Trustees, and again, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. It's good to see community come together and being involved with their local government, because all politics are local. A little bit about me. I do have roots in Villa Park. As a child, I lived in Villa Park and attended North School. My two children attend North School. I have a 10-year-old son, Jacob, an 8-year-old daughter, Gabby, and my 4-year-old son attends our church for school, St. Paul Lutheran. And a little bit about me is I used to work in manufacturing. I went to trade school through the Tooling and Manufacturing Association. I rose through the ranks, became a plant manager. And in 2001, when the economy went bad, I went into teaching at Northwestern University. I attended school there and was able to get my professional certificate from Northwestern in 2005. I still teach there. I love the job, and that's why everyone thinks I'm crazy for driving to Evanston, but you can't get such a great job like that very easily. I'm very involved with the community, obviously. I have 3 children. We've been very involved with the community, starting with the Parks and Recreation Department, where my 2 older children went to preschool. It was an excellent program that got me deeper involved in the community through Villa Park Youth Baseball. I've been involved with for the last 6 years, and I'm happy to say that your husband's my son's coach this year. So
Right, yeah, just
thank you to Tony. I have volunteered as an assistant coach for each year that I've been in youth baseball, so I always like to lend a hand and give back to the community. Like I said, I'm deeply invested in Villa Park. My family's here. When my wife and I got married, we didn't know where we wanted to live, and we were looking at houses everywhere. And in the back of my mind, I was like, let's go look in Villa Park. So we bought our home here 12 years ago. It's a great community. I really enjoy being a part of it. I like being involved, and it's been very rewarding. I started with government, serving on the Environmental Concerns Commission under Chairman Bob Wagner. It was an excellent learning experience, so I'd like to thank Bob for his involvement in the community as well. I put a little sheet out in the hallway that shows basically what I've done in town, and I'd like to continue working on the board, so I'm asking for people's support, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Bob. And on to the last Bob. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Thank you, Angie. I want to thank you and the Junior Women's Club, and I also don't want to forget the folks in the Cable Commission for the good work that they do, so bringing this to the community. My name is Bob Wagner. I'm a 30-year resident, and proud to say that my wedding anniversary, my 30-year wedding anniversary, coincides with moving to Villa Park, and my wonderful wife, Marion, is in the audience this evening. We raised 3 children who attended District 45, Willowbrook High School. I served 2 years on the village board, from 95 to 97. I filled a unexpired term, and that was a great experience. I got to learn a lot about the village board during that time. I've been 15 years on the Villa Park Library Board. I've served as president, currently serving as treasurer. I'm chairman of the Environmental Concerns Commission, and I've been involved in some capacity with the Environmental Concerns Commission since 1992. I I served 3 years on the DuPage Library System Board of Directors. I am a block captain and founding member of the Southwest Villa Park Neighborhood Watch, alumni of the Citizens Police Academy, member of the Community Bike Ride. I served on a merger committee that created the new Rails library system, reaching across Illinois library system, merged 5 libraries together. I served on the facilities group, went and visited almost all the facilities in central and northern Illinois. As a consequence, that merger saved the citizens of Illinois thousands of dollars. I attended a 2-day training session on planning and zoning with the Chicago metropolitan area for planning. I thought about running 2 years ago, when there was only 3 candidates running, and I thought it would be good for me to run because to add to the dialogue about how our village is going to proceed. And I'm very optimistic about the future of our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for that introduction. Lots of longtime residents in Villa Park. People really stay in Villa Park, don't they? So we'll start with our first question. Rich, I'm going to start with you since we started with John. We'll come back to you, John. So again, these are all questions that we kind of consolidated from the community. The first one is, Villa Park is often considered a reactive town. What are your plans for making Villa Park proactive?
I know being proactive is more cost-effective while preventing developing problems from getting worse. Will prevent foreseeable problems from occurring in the first place. It's always a measure twice, cut once. In Villa Park, we've done some measuring and usually cut. I see our future as pre-planned, coming from a career that pre-plans every move we make in every scenario. I understand it takes the right people to seek lasting solutions to any problem. My solution to being proactive is having a master pre-plan for our village that will draw business and industry today. This will broaden our tax base, increase job opportunities, increase construction, strengthen public safety, improve parks, streets, pools, attract new families. This will make a vibrant community that people will want to come to. There has been a decrease in residents, business employees over the years. This pre-plan can change our direction. We're at bare bones minimum now. What have we done in the past? What we have done in the past is not working at this time. Proactive with the traffic around schools is a major concern of mine. Many years ago, for another town I worked for, I was involved on a call where a family was struck by a car when they were jaywalking. Looking at the child, I was thinking of my child's safety. I see children all the time around Ardmore School and how dangerous that area is before and after school. We need a change. A true crime-free program will be very proactive and put in place. Senator Cullerton's been working on this with legislation to help us for non-home rule villages to have a true crime-free program. And building a good working relationship with property owners would help with this crime-free program. Setting goals for economic development. All areas of town need to be evaluated for the best option for those areas. Thank you.
Good. Okay. Thank you, Rich. And I was just told that the audience in here is a little bit trouble hearing, so if you guys don't mind just speaking up just a little bit. There aren't speakers out to us. Tony, give us your ideas on how proactive versus reactive.
All right. The model of proactive surrounds us. Simplify our codes, business friendly. I'll bring the same approach that has earned District 88 national recognition in Newsweek. Passed the largest referendum that prepared our schools, Willowbrook and Addison Trail, Willowbrook primarily because that's where my loyalty lies. It's tough when I have to ref a Willowbrook-Addison Trail game, guys. It really, really is. You don't know the feeling. This has prepared our students, and I know there are educators here that know me and people that have known my service on District 88. We prepared our students for the future. You no longer have to worry about another referendum. That referendum that we passed in Villa Park is history-making. Nobody else in DuPage County has ever passed that type of referendum for education. And I'll say thank you again. I said thank you previously, and I'll say thank you again, because in my estimation, the children come first. there isn't a person in this room who I haven't affected in one way or another with my service on the District 88 School Board and the service that I supplied as chairman of District 45 Athletic Boosters. I have a passion. I have a passion for Villa Park. I have a passion for its children, for its adults, and for its seniors. I've seen the good times. I want to see the better times. I'll bring my energy, and everybody knows I will bring my energy, and there will be nothing that I won't consider. I'll be called at home. My cards are out there. That's my cell phone number. I'll answer it, and if I'm able, I'll be there in a minute. I guarantee you this, to help solve your problems, and I'll listen, and I will solve them.
Thank you. Thank you, Tony. How about you, Greg? The question was, how are we making it more of a proactive town?
Than reactive. You know, to call it a reactive town almost makes it sound like something's getting done. You know, this town's languished. I wish it were reactive. You know, you got to change the mindset, really. You know, oftentimes I hear, well, this is the way it's always been done. And, you know, this is the way we're set up, and something's better than nothing. And I hate that one, too. You know, we just need to get away from that mindset. We also can learn from so many communities around us who've enjoyed so much success over the years. You know, we can learn from their failures and learn from their successes and what's worked for them. To be proactive, we just build upon their successes, do it differently, do it better. You know, I feel that, you know, Villa Park is in a great spot. You know, we can just learn from other people. We don't have to test the waters. We don't have to make mistakes. We don't have to fail. You know, that's already been done by the communities around us. And if we just learn from them, you know, I think it's a slam dunk. We can be proactive. We can do the right things easily, quickly, and efficiently. Thank you.
Good, thank you. How about you, Rodney? Any ideas about proactivity?
Yes, I do have an idea. So what I believe is going on is we're focusing in on problems. So it may seem like you're doing something because you're plugging a hole here or putting some dirt in the ground over there, fixing a pipe over here, and you're really running behind fixing problems, and you're focusing on problems. So your head's down in the ground, you're working hard, and you're meandering. What we need to do is look up and see the opportunities, the things that are out in our future. So it is true. If we were a petri dish, all around us, things are growing, except in the center. And that's where we are, you know. You know, these other towns, Elmhurst is doing great things. Oak Terrace are building great things all around us. We should be growing like that, but we're not. And we do have all those opportunities. We do have all those same thoroughfares, expressways. We have all that potential. So we can't, this is a normal thing. You can take this and use it anywhere in your life. Don't focus on the problem. You might get some things done and get the dishes done, but the big thing is look at the opportunities. Look at the big things that are calling you forward. So we can focus on fixing all the streets we want, and we can do a referendum and fix the streets. But towns aren't good because they have nice streets. Great towns have nice streets. You understand that? So if you are a great town, all your amenities come with that. Those are just byproducts of being a great town. Fixing the street does not make us a great town. So we need that big picture, that big vision, and that's what I'm going for.
Good, thank you. Thank you, Rodney. How about you, Bob?
Well, I have a little bit of experience with this, and I don't like to hear people say that Villa Park has done nothing, because actually we've done quite a bit of improving over the years. And I'll tell you, when I first got elected, I had a lot of big ideas. I'm like, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to fix everything, because I can do this. I have a lot of energy, I'm enthused, I'm invested. But it takes teamwork, and you have to compromise, and you have to be able to work with others. And the first thing I did when I first got elected, I wasn't sure exactly what a trustee's job was, besides setting policy and passing ordinances, which is basically what a trustee's job is. So I wanted to understand, how does Villa Park work, and why aren't things getting done, and why do some things get done? So I got the board to agree with me. We had a professional outside assessment done of our village and its operations. It's something that's never been done before. And in that assessment, it listed our strengths and our weaknesses as far as operations go. Over the last 4 years, we've aggressively addressed those strengths and weaknesses. So I think that Villa Park is moving forward. And of course, we all want it to move forward more quickly, but there's reality we have to deal with. The economy, finances, getting people to agree on what the priorities are. As far as being proactive, I believe that this board has been proactive. I think myself has been proactive on this board. I've been down to Springfield many times over the last 4 years, whether it's lobbying our state legislators for laws that we need, crime-free programs, money to fix our bridge, our infrastructure. I've been down there lobbying on behalf of the skate park committee with the state legislators to get the funding for the skate park. So we've done a lot of good things. We've attracted good businesses to the community. We brought in something we never had before, an economic development director who has established positive, proactive relationships with our existing businesses, and we work with them constantly to try to help them. But our director is also attracting new businesses, and I think that's going to be the key to solving a lot of our infrastructure problems without having to tax the people. I mean,
Thank you. And real quick, just as a follow-up, is that assessment something that people can see
absolutely,
online?
yeah,
Okay,
I believe
on the
it's
village
online,
website?
yes.
Okay, I'm sure people will want to
And
see
can I
that.
add something to it? Since I came on the board, our transparency rating was an F and is almost to an A.
Good. We all want, that's a good thing. How about you, Bob? Ideas to make it proactive rather than reactive?
Right. Well, first of all, I'd like to just say that I worked for 32 years for Bridgestone Firestone as a facility project manager, so being proactive was very important within our company. I think that the village has made some strides towards being proactive. For example, the introduction of Nixle, where people can get alerts on their cell phones about things that are happening. That's a really good thing. The creation of the Citizens Emergency Response Team, to be a preparedness for emergencies. While in the library board, a number of years ago, I participated in strategic long-range planning. We hired a group called the Executive Service Corps, and we're about to renew our agreement to do another long-range plan. So I think strategic long-range planning is essential to being essential to being proactive. To develop a plan, looking into the future. Trustee Taglia mentioned the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Those types of studies are important to being proactive. One thing that I would like to see is stricter enforcement of the vacant building ordinance. Whenever you have foreclosed property, there's an opportunity for crime to come in or blight in a neighborhood. So strict enforcement of that, contact with the bank, make sure that the property is maintained so that the neighborhood, so that the quality of the neighborhood is kept in place. And I think, good point, going down to Springfield to lobby your legislators. Been on the library board for 15 years, and a number of times I've gone to Washington to lobby legislators. When I was on the DuPage Library System Board twice for library issues, and I've also gone to Springfield with the Illinois Library Association to lobby on behalf of library issues.
Okay, good. Thanks, Bob. Lots of good ideas, everyone. John, we'll finish up with you. Proactive versus reactive.
Thank you. My approach, I was a field mechanic for many years, so the idea is to fix things and keep them going. Villa Park is often a reactive town due to the fact our departments have been dwindled down over the years to skeleton crews because of budget cuts. Our departments are operating at minimal or below minimal staffing. Take, for example, the fire department. Since I've been on this board, the department has operated with below minimum standards. And in an article online with the Daily Herald, the National Fire Protection Agency recommends that a fire scene, there are at minimum 15 trained firefighters within 8 minutes. On average, we have approximately 8 firefighters on duty at this town at any time. No offense, guys. Please don't take it the wrong way. Despite the reduction of manpower and the aging equipment, the fire department continues to serve our community with distinction. This shows how determined and dedicated the staff is to their job performance. even while carrying out these jobs with one hand tied behind her back. And another quick example, we've all been losing power because of trees not being maintained over the years. The forestry department at one time had a full crew. Now if we send out our one arborist, we only have one person in our forestry crew, we have to yank somebody out of the streets or the water department or somebody else to assist them. So that's taking guys away from the other field. So, excuse me, in order for us to be a proactive town, we need to get our departments running at full throttle. There is no way to get ahead of building maintenance, tree maintenance, street maintenance on a regular schedule or even do proper code enforcement without giving the employees the tools they need to do the job to their fullest. More is less is all we've heard over the last 5 years, and everything around us is falling apart. We need to get ahead of the game. This includes the police department. In order to fight drugs and gang activity and better excuse me, staffing of the fire department. Since my second month in office, I've been continually looking for grants or incentives to hire more safety personnel, including volunteers, paid on call, and part-time personnel. We depend on other towns way more than we ever should. This being said, I'm extremely thankful for our mutual aid communities for everything they do for us. But please, don't confuse this with big government. I'm not talking about big government. I'm talking about getting our departments up to where they can get everything to satisfactory condition and maintain it.
Thanks, John. Thank you. And to kind of build on what John was talking about, we're going to move to our next question. Tony, we'll start with you. What do you think is the solution for updating our many things that are aging in our town, our roads, our pools, our park buildings, all of our infrastructure? Do you have any plans to fix some of that?
First, a little introduction on how I see our village and how this would occur. We have settled too long for the status quo. It's time to aggressively promote Villa Park. It is a jewel. Its proximity to all major expressways is second to none. We have public transportation that puts you 20 minutes from the heart of the third largest city in America. Access to DuPage County and its many forest reserves and blocks away from anywhere in Villa Park to the Prairie Path. These are all positives. Put together a business plan that shows developers and local businesses Villa Park is ready to step up now. By doing that, we will create new revenue streams that can be used to improve projects that we've been kicking the can down the road for. Pools, 1996, ladies and gentlemen. Take credit for what you want, but that's how long it's been happening. Pools, since 2001. My reference is the Chicago Tribune. If anybody wants to check it, you can find out that these are facts. If we do what I said, support our local businesses, create revenue, encourage developers with new codes so that new businesses and developers will tend to invest in Villa Park, new revenue streams will help us create the funds that we need to improve our streets, our pools, our parks.
Thank you. Greg, how about you? Let's talk about infrastructure.
I like the way he's worded this question. How do you feel? What do you feel the solution is for updating our aging infrastructure? What's your solution for financing? I think is probably what you're asking. Updating, you just get 3 bids, get the middle bid, some references, and you're done. I think for the pools and park buildings, I think the single most important thing this village can do is get a park district. You know, I mean, those pools right now are a line on the village budget. You know, you just draw a line through it, and there you go. No funding for the pools. It's that simple. The park district, you're protecting that from happening, and I think that is the single most important thing that needs to happen. As far as the roads, I mean, this is every town's got a road issue. It's a funny dance here because we have the streets that have been in disrepair that need rebuilding, and yet you want to maintain the ones that are halfway decent. You know, every time you bring up the vehicle stickers, you know, some of the people, and some of you are here, it looks like, that have been here for a while, will say, well, we took a utility tax, so we don't get vehicle stickers. And that's fine, and that happened before me, and that's the deal that was done, but I don't think the deal is kind of working out. We really do need to find some financing. I think another thing that we could do is a special taxing district. Lombard does it with great success. along the North Avenue and Roosevelt corridors get an extra penny per dollar. The people who cut through, along there, you go to that Target on North Avenue, there's a lot of Elmhurst vehicle stickers on there, and those people be paying to fix our roads. I would be hesitant to tag street maintenance to a sales tax. If you look what happened to Taste of Lombard, they almost lost it because it was tied to the hotel tax. Hotels, that revenue came down. They almost lost it. So that would help fix the roads, but I wouldn't want to be the major funding stream. Thank you.
Good, thank you. How about you, Rodney? Let's talk about our aging infrastructure here.
When I say I'm a project manager, I mean that I'm certified by a worldwide organization called the Project Management Institute. And the first thing I do when I'm with a client or stakeholders, which is all of you stakeholders, I'm a stakeholder as well, we have to get funding. The answer is money. I could stop there. But, how do you get money? Even in your own life, you need money in your household. And this is the way I would tell anyone if I was coaching them. I have some training in professional coaching as well. But I tell it to my kids, and I would tell it to you as individuals. You can't just go out and say, oh, I want money. Go to your work, I want money. You need to find something that you have passion about, and you bring that to bear when you have your eyes open and you're looking. And that's going to help you, first of all, get on that road and really see things in the right light. So we need to make a series of good decisions and execute them. And that's how we're going to succeed. So just that mindset, that's the first thing I'm talking about, a mindset on how to proceed. And of course, some of the other things are just hard and fast things. We do need to get new businesses in, new business revenue. Our taxes aren't bad. Our cumulative tax rate is 775, and the others around us are higher. They're at 825. So it's not that. We need to be like we're on a dating service or something and make ourselves look good, make ourselves look attractive to bring that tax base in. All right? So businesses feel like, I want to be in Villa Park now. We have to say yes to businesses. We have to make it easy for them to come here and do something and not feel like, oh my God, it's so rigorous. And for what? We want to have it where everything's in order, so when a business comes here, they're happy to be here and they're happy to work with us. The road referendum, we should get that out there, and you would vote on that. That's more taxes. That's more taxes. But you would vote on that, okay? It hasn't been on there. I don't know why it hasn't been on there. I think we vote twice a year at least, so it could have been on there 8 times. But eventually we'll get it out there, and you vote on that, and you make that decision. So we have a lot to do. We have a lot of opportunities, and that's what I mean about focusing on opportunities and not on problems.
Good. Thank you, Rodney. How about you, Bob? I know you have some insight about our
I do,
crumbling
actually.
infrastructure.
And Villa Park has been aggressively pursuing business development, at least over the last 4 years. We have 3 TIF districts, and what TIF districts are is tax increment financing districts. And we are busy trying to put land together on North Avenue and areas on Villa and things like that where we could, mostly North Avenue, where we could attract new businesses. The tax increment is an attractive tool to bring in new business. What it does is it gives a new business a rebate on their sales tax for a period of time and helps them establish their businesses. So that is something that we have been working on. And like I said, the addition of our economic development director has given Villa Park a face for businesses to work with. We have been successful in bringing new businesses to Villa Park. We do have New Sonic that opened up. We have just closed the deal with Bone Roofing Supply, which bought a 10-acre parcel on North Avenue. And they, I forget what their figures are. I think it's near $10 million a year in sales they do. My plan is to take these additional revenues that we are currently receiving and will be receiving more of them and earmarking those funds to improve our infrastructure, our roads, our swimming pools. I'm a proud member of the coalition of the Villa Park Pools. I was elected their vice president, so it's something I'm very passionate about, something my family, my children really enjoy. And I believe that we can get there. The road referendum is very difficult. It has failed twice already. If it fails a third time, I don't know that we'll ever get the people to vote for it. We brought in a consultant to tell us what did we do right, what did we do wrong. And what we did wrong is we didn't educate the people properly. When you shove these huge taxes down people's throat and they don't understand what the plan is, they vote against it. So if there is going to be another road referendum and the people will decide if they want to pay more taxes, we have to do a better job of educating the public and have a real plan in place before we do that.
Okay, thank you, Bob. And Mr. Wagner, how about you? Do you have a solution for aging infrastructure?
Well, I think what we need to do is we need to develop a 10-year comprehensive strategic plan for dealing with failing roads and sewers. When I was on the village board, starting in '95, there was a 10-year plan that was followed, and that coincided with the passing of a referendum. I think that's an important first step. I think that you need to practice preventive maintenance when it comes to streets and facilities. I mentioned I was the facility project manager for 10 years. That was a philosophy that we employed to do life cycle analysis on systems. You don't want to wait for catastrophic failure. We had a situation in the Public Works building where the roof failed, and we had water running into into a conference room. So being proactive means preventive maintenance. It means analyzing when is something going to need to be replaced. I'm wary of discussion or mention of new. I think Mr. Gerdach mentioned new revenue streams. That sounds like new taxes to me. I would like to see us proceed with a carefully considered referendum. I think we absolutely need to plan for a referendum. I think getting in new development will provide more property taxes. I think that I would just stress preventive maintenance and developing a long-range plan is the best way to proceed.
Okay, good. Thank you. How about you, John? Your plan for aging infrastructure?
I don't like new taxes. We are a bedroom community. And with that being said, any new retail taxes that we would take, it takes time to accumulate for us to be able to do upgrades. And having been on this board during good financial times and then after the economy dropped out from under us, I've seen our village working extremely diligently to keep our infrastructure above grade to an almost complete stop. It was extremely hard for the boards and the departments to pick and choose what projects got what little money the village had, with revenues extremely down. Our municipal revenues derives majority from taxes and taxes only. When businesses were closing and the village was scrambling to keep them open and the retail sales were almost non-existent, the burden became almost solely on the residents through taxation. We have seen an improvement on home sales and new businesses are slowly coming back to life. The board and management have been extremely creative in finding funding for pool repairs and repairing the streets as much as possible with the slow increase of revenues. The streets are probably one of the biggest problems that we have. And in my opinion, to most aggressively take care of that, we would have to either do a special tax, which some other towns do, which tax the streets, each individual house that are on that street, or we have to pass a road referendum. But either way, it's going to come out of our pockets because it's going to take a while for the revenues. If we even bring dealerships in, which they bring good tax money in, it's still going to take years before it'll actually be enough money in there to get our streets going in a good, fast pace that needs to be done. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay, thank you, John. Yes.
Trustee Taglia interpreted a statement that I made, and I'll tell everybody right here and now, I have no desire for new taxes. I heard him make several statements that I could have replied to, and I didn't.
Okay.
Don't put words in my mouth.
Okay.
Mr. Gerdach.
Then why did you use my name? Thank you, Angie.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up.
No,
Rich,
I
we're
didn't.
gonna end,
It was Bob Wagner, not you.
but yeah, it was Bob Wagner. Rich, we're going to end this question with
Mr.
you.
Wagner, I apologize. Bob.
Yeah, no
Mr.
problem,
Wagner.
Tony, no problem.
Mr. Wagner? Right at you, buddy.
See, I
Rich,
get the
we're going
blame
to
for
end.
everything in this
We're going to
town.
end this question with you. How do you plan on improving infrastructure?
Okay, as I mentioned before, master pre-plan for our village is a large solution to update our infrastructure. Also, the village needs to gain the trust back from the residents. I've been hearing that for a long time, that they don't trust anybody within the village. That's got to go away. We need that. Using quick fixes is not the way to go. As Tony said, the article in the Trib in '96 about our pools and the condition that they are, why has this problem not been solved? It's '96, this is 2013. We need to look into more grants and having people that will focus on grants that will help this town. Bringing a street referendum or capital improvement referendum to the residents that fully explains the plan with plenty of time to educate, take questions, and answer them properly. Let the voters decide. I also do not support any increase in tax unless there's a voter approval. I won't do it. We've had missed opportunities that other villages have capitalized on. I don't want to say no to any business or industry that comes into town. I want a business to expand. Don't delay their plans. Work with them. There should be no more red tape within this village. We need to find ways to help existing businesses expand, get new business started, and stop losing business. Let's fill the vacant buildings that are in town. Keep a person in economic development specifically for North Avenue and work with the TIF district. We need to aggressively fill the vacant pieces of property or buildings along that area. For new roads, remember to take into account when we get somebody in to replace these roads, the small side streets may not be built as good as the main thoroughfares. We have very heavy vehicles. We have very heavy fire engines, garbage trucks, snow plows, village equipment. We have to take that into account when we get these streets built. They will last us a little longer. We're gaining, but not as much as others have flourished. We need to make a difference or change. Thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you. Because I want to make sure that we cover this one, Greg, I'm going to start with you. You all kind of are talking about bringing in developers and that we need new business for this funding to do this. How do we do that? All I hear from the city, we got a lot of questions about this and how we have such a cumbersome code book. What's your solution to that?
There's the building code book or the code of ordinances?
Just to bring developers in, whatever codes that they have to
But when
follow.
you mentioned code book, because we adopted the International Building Code, I think. We used the 2009 book.
Why
Actually,
is it
some of it
so
2005.
difficult for developers here? Why do we have all these tobacco stores, but no other kinds of,
the code of ordinances, you can.
How do we bring in businesses and businesses?
Well,
in
that's
the
it.
town
You want to.
residents wanna
Well,
go to?
I mean, St. Charles Road has become transit oriented. It has become a vehicle oriented. You want to make it pedestrian friendly. You want to clear up some of the blight. We tried to work on a sign ordinance. Try to go away from the old pole and box signs and go to like more, we talked about going to more of a monument sign or the letters on the building and control some of the blight and like I said, and try to make it pedestrian friendly. We have all those curb cuts. Talked about shared parking and stuff. I mean, that's how you're going to get businesses. You're going to get the foot traffic. Not the cars whizzing by, cutting through because I'm late for work. I think that's key to St. Charles Road.
It's dangerous to walk down St.
It's not friendly, And I lived on Roosevelt Road in Oak Park, and that's a busy street too. But it didn't seem that way. The sidewalks were wide. They got to be like 3-4 feet wide, and then you had a parking lane between you and the cars whizzing by. I mean, these are some of the ideas that other towns have. Well, all right, Oak Park's done it for a while. It's been around a while, but these are some of the ideas on Washington Street in Naperville. It's 2 lanes in either direction during business hours. Those outside lanes are parking lanes. Again, you're more apt to walk down the street with not a car going 40 miles an hour whizzing past you. So, I think a lot of things can be done to clean up St. Charles Road, make it more attractive to builders and developers. As far as the code book goes, I know our code of ordinances is outdated. We've talked about it on planning and zoning, updating some of the codes, and I agree fully, I guess.
Good. Thank you, Greg. How about you, Rodney? How do you plan to bring in? I know we've all kind of mentioned we need more developers. How do you actually do that?
It's the basis of it definitely is about building relationships, for one. But when we talk about the code book, if that's a discouragement to them, First, we have to look at the things that we can, if we can go back in the past and see what discouraged these companies from building or doing a project, what did they need a variance on that we just could not do, and where could they meet us halfway in those variances? Now, keep in mind, those codes are there for a reason. So we have to do it with safety in mind first. So, none of that can go. But with that said, we have to sit down with them and really ask them point blank, what do you need, and then what can we give, keeping in mind the safety balance. But make them feel like, I'm doing this because I want you to be here. That needs to be clearly communicated. And I think once we get one good group in, and the word gets on the street that, okay, Villa Park really worked with me. We sat down, we went through all these details to figure it out, and they actually figured out how they could change their code. Again, safety, safety, safety. But maybe you're not going to build a 10-story building. Maybe you're going to build a 3-story building somewhere. All right? So those are the things. We have to work with people. We have to build relationships, and it's going to take time because building relationships takes time. Once we get the business, let's work on efficiencies and getting it done fast. But the relationship part, it takes time to build relationship. And so we need to invest that time. There's no quick fix for that because we deal with people, right? It's not a computer system. So we're not looking for efficiency. We're looking for in-depth relationships and advertising ourselves and becoming known as that. We need to change our personality a little bit so that people feel that this is who we are, great town to work with, and we obviously have a lot of growth potential. So where other people have already developed things that are close to the city, like in Elmhurst and Lombard and so on, now we still have a space to do that. So there's lots of room and lots of things that can be done here. So I'm looking forward to helping make that happen.
Talk to us about bringing in developers.
Well, I think it's something that we've been pretty successful with recently. Since the economy is starting to get better and our finances are starting to improve greatly, I think the key to that is hammering on the locations that we have available. The land that we have put together on North Avenue is a big key to the redevelopment of this town. The location, talking about the code book, we have probably the thickest code book in DuPage County.
That's all I keep hearing.
And it is so difficult because every board meeting we have an agenda. We have to do things one at a time. But I think there should be a committee assigned to that to address that. But something we have done very successfully is listening to business owners and contractors in town. We have worked on the permitting process. And the reports I'm getting back from people who do business in Villa Park is that it is a lot better, that it has improved. There's one-stop permit shopping now in Villa Park. Used to have to go back and forth across the street, and I heard that people they didn't enjoy it, and it was painful. So it's something that we have addressed. So the key is the incentives, the location, and as Mr. Pate said, is definitely building those relationships. And I think now that, and I hate to keep hammering on the economic development director, but I think she's a big part of building these relationships. And I think that is the key. She has already proved herself successful in building these relationships and bringing in new businesses that will be putting money into the village so we can fix our streets, our pools, and get new vehicles and staff the fire department and the police department and the Parks and Rec department and the street departments. I already said that. So that's the real key there. So I just hope that we keep going that direction. I know that things will improve.
How about you, Bob? New thoughts on bringing in developers?
Well, I think that the village has made some good steps towards attracting new developers. I think moving community development and economic development to the North Avenue office. I've toured the office. It's a great space. You always want to make a good first impression, and I think that building, that office, has an attractive conference room where developers can come in and they can meet with staff. I think that's a really good step. I mentioned I worked in a real estate department, and we had to look for sites for new stores. Twice I went to Las Vegas with the International Council of Shopping Centers, and a trustee that I respect mentioned this as a possibility. I think that's a good step to go to Las Vegas. There are hundreds and hundreds of developers there. If we can afford it, that might be a good thing to do, to meet with developers right there and see if they're interested in coming to Villa Park. So far as our building code is concerned, Greg mentioned, we did adopt the International Building Code, International Construction Code for 2009, and so we are updated. In fact, we're more updated than some other villages. We had a plumbing inspector who was on staff who was kind of notoriously strict, and that may have caused some irritation among contractors, and he has left. He's moved on. So, I think that the steps the village has made have been important ones. I'm looking at the new building, the Villa Medical Arts building, that was just built on Villa Avenue, and that went up pretty expeditiously. So, and I think it's important that staff work with contractors, that they review drawings on a timely basis, and that they communicate back to developers and contractors on a timely basis. And I think that will go a long way to speed the process up.
Thank you. John, do you have thoughts about bringing in developers?
Yeah, real quick. Excuse me. I think we need to aggressively sell Villa Park. When the manager hired Mamie Yee as the economic developer, we have seen an increase of the developers looking into Villa Park and actually starting projects. We've come a long way in this aspect. And I feel that we should actually bring on another person that's a contract commission person that does the same job. 2 people out there selling this town the way that it should be sold. And as for the code book, I've thought about this before. It should be, I actually feel a new commission should be brought up between economic development and residents and contractors to go through the code book and make things a little more easier, we'll say, for them to build without confusion, and I think that'll actually help out in the long run, having more development.
Okay, good, thanks. How about you, Rich? Have you given thought to this one?
Yeah. We have missed the development wave a few times over the years. Why is that? We've seen surrounding towns develop even in a recession. Oak Brook Terrace built a new mall, the grocery store. Why haven't we done the same? Could it be our code book is too complicated, like everybody has said? We will sit down with surrounding towns, John said builders and residents, and compare notes. Yes, certain codes are set in stone, life safety and building codes, but we can change other ones. We will speak to builders and find out what the problems are that we have had with them, and how can we fix this. I want inspectors to be efficient, and inspections should be done in a reasonable amount of time. I've seen it take several days or weeks to inspect a post hole for somebody I know that's building a deck. Why did that happen? That should not happen. How many times have you driven through this town and seen buildings that are under construction that are stagnant for weeks or even months? Why is there any progress being made on those? Also, with permits, why do I need 2 permits to replace my drive? One for the parkway, one for the drive. That's one job, one permit. Are we taxing extra things? There are other times you get a permit and there's no inspection. It's not even needed. Some towns don't even have permits for things that don't need to be inspected. This is something we need to look into. All these questions will be addressed and fixed. Streamlining codes, like I said before, and permits is very important to our future. As John said, we need to sell this town aggressively. I want builders to be lining up to build here. Don't we deserve it? We've had so many times where there are people who have come through this town that I know going, wow, all you have is smoke shop, pawn shop, payday loan, cash for gold, smoke shop. What is your image of Villa Park?
Shop, don't
Consignment
forget
shop also. What is your
and hair
image?
places.
What is your image to Villa
it.
Park? So we need to change and move forward. Thank you.
Good, thank you. Tony, you're going to wrap this one up for us. How would you bring in more developers?
First of all, I say ditto to Rich.
Well, there you go.
But it's not going to be that easy. It's not going to be that easy. It's a work in progress. We have yet, as far as I'm concerned, to even take the first step to encouraging developers, people that I talk to. Many people don't know, but I was a salesman for West Chicago lumber. I sold to builders like Joe Kine, the guy that built Donata. I have him as a personal friend. I wish I could have brought him here.
Yeah.
But we don't have the time for him because he is long-winded. But he is a very successful man. He is the only billionaire that I claim to know. I could have sought him for ideas, but that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for that initial phase that'll get us over the hump, over what we've been doing continually for year after year after year. Seek out info, just like all the other gentlemen have said. Seek out info. We've got successes all around us. Lombard, Elmhurst, OBT, Addison. Let's see what they did to get to where they're at. Take a look at the franchise row on any one of those streets. Addison in particular, on Lake Street, and see what they've done from Addison all the way to Route 53. It's not very difficult. Those businesses, those franchises are there, ready and willing, able to do business in Villa Park. Are we going after that kind of business? We should do whatever it takes, incentives, and creating an information vehicle. We've got the business development guy. We need the grant development guy. We need to, and copying is the essence that businesses all do. We don't have to tell you. McDonald's started, and that started the explosion, guys. That's what we have to do. Villa Park is in their infancy doing that. Never let one single opportunity go by. Not one. And do it in a timely fashion.
Good, thank you. Speaking of timely fashion, we're about out of time. I do want to give each of you just a minute to kind of wrap up with any final, if you guys could just kind of give us 1 minute apiece. We'll start with you, Rodney. Just any kind of parting thoughts that you'd
Well,
like
I'll
to
just
share.
say, since we didn't do the communication question,
Yeah, I know, sorry. We have
that's
to
okay.
kind of move it along.
the communication thing is, one, within the village, the people who work in the village, this is your town too, whether you live and work here or just work here. All your ideas are valid. If I say something up here and you feel like saying, hey, Trustee Pate, I totally disagree with that. Good, tell me about it. No repercussions. Everyone is a part of this because you know about risks and issues and key things and processes that we can do better, and you should feel free to speak about them to anyone at any time. So that's communication. Let's hear it from the people who run. Every department, whether it's the fire, police, we want to know that. You're part of this team, and we should let you know, here's the championship. You know, everyone in basketball knows what they're going for. Everyone in hockey knows what they're going for. Does everyone who works for the village, do they know what we're going for? That's communication. We want it both ways, and there's going to be a team that we want to be, the board, also looking right back at you, participating and being part of the success of this village. So that's what I have to say.
Good, thank you, Rodney. How about you, Bob? A minute to wrap up.
Okay, just as far as a lot of the things being said here tonight, I think Villa Park is aggressively trying to improve its image and improve its businesses. We are actively trying to attract and build relationships with businesses. And it's a difficult process, and it does take a lot of time. I thought we could get a lot more done in 4 years than we have, and it's frustrating, but there's a little bit of dose of reality to it, too. You have to get people to agree, and you have to build relationships here on the board as well. So it's always be considerate of other people, listen to their ideas, you know, and try to be a little forgiving, too. We're not all perfect, and sometimes we make mistakes. And I think compromise is the other thing that you have to keep in mind. We all want what's best for this village. Nobody up here wants the village to go to pot. You know, my children are young. I have a lot of people tell me, oh, I'm glad my kids are grown up. I'm like, that doesn't make me feel better. You know, my kids are little. So with that, I'd like to thank everybody for their time and their attention tonight. I'd like to thank the candidates for coming and bringing forward really good ideas and really good positive energy. So thank you.
Thank you. Bob, I'd like to give you a minute to wrap up.
Thank you, and thanks for hosting this forum tonight. I want to talk about communication as well, because one idea that I have, it's not really an original idea. It's something that former President Ray Rupp Search did during one of her terms. After the election, after the consolidated election, she gathered all the units of local government, school district, sanitary district, library board, village board, together to talk about what we could do, ideas that we share and how we can help each other. That's something, an idea that I'd like to resurrect after the election, win or lose. I think it's a wonderful idea. I would just like to stress to residents that I'm very accessible. On the library website, my phone number, email address is there. I can be contacted. On my campaign literature, I put my personal cell phone, and I've gotten calls from residents, so I appreciate that. And just to let people know that I am available. And speaking of communication, I would like to communicate to Tony my apologies if I offended you. But you did say you were in favor of new streams of revenue, so that gives me pause, and that's the reason I made that comment. So my apologies to you.
An assumption.
Thank you, Bob. And when you get the groups together, invite the Junior Women's Club. We have lots of ideas.
That's a great idea.
How about you, John? Just a minute to wrap up.
Yeah, in closing, I would like to say it's nice to see this many residents stepping forward to run for the 3 open trustee spots. Villa Park is at a tipping point with the economy going in a better direction. Villa Park has the opportunity to move forward with progress with the right team to push it forward to the next level. I would like to see this community come together as a whole to continue to make our town that small town feel with big city dreams. As with the skate park, it proves that one person can make a difference. And I promise you, each and every one of these individuals up here have something to offer to our town. So please go out, meet each candidate, and vote on April 9th.
Thank you. Yes, that's the truth. How about you, Rich?
I missed a part of my bio, but on the department, my career was cut short from an injury in 2008, so I do have some extra time on my hands to commit to this position. My history shows that I do commit to everything. You can't win national titles without full commitment. On communication, we've heard a lot about transparency and within our town. We've lost transparency. The residents I've talked to, that's gone. They don't trust it. In my background, I work as a team member. We work very strongly together. So much can be accomplished when you work as a team. You need to be open and communicate. Communication between all departments, residents, business owners, and property owners is the #1 priority. Residents deserve a response to their question. These should be quickly and done honestly. Having nixle, text messaging, emails can make the residents feel more connected. The less questions will be asked if more information is actually put out there. I understand that there's laws that limit this, but we can do better. Streamlining government, working in harmony will make more efficient village. Personal feelings will never, ever get in my way when I make a decision. Thank you.
Good, thank you. How about you, Tony? You want to wrap up?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are 23,000 people strong. We can do this. We can do this. We're looking for your help. Every gentleman up here is looking for your help. On my business cards out there also is my cell phone number, and I've been called several times. The 3 words: concerned, committed, decisive. It comes to issues in Villa Park. I pledge, with input from all segments of our Villa Park's residents, to do the right thing in an expeditious and thoughtful manner, making a best interests a priority. My goal, my energy, and my passion is to move our village to its rightful position as a leader, not as a follower. My business experience, my school board experience, my chairmanship of the 45 Athletic Brewsters, my ability to work with others and be able to listen and to come to consensus is beyond reproach. Anybody who has seen me work in the district, they know, and in Villa Park, know my passion. Another surprise, born and raised in a family business, 20 years. I know what it took. I know what it took my mom and dad. We moved 3 times from a smaller to a bigger to a biggest location right on Ashland Avenue. I know what it takes. I know what the sacrifices are for small business people. My mom and dad made them all and taught me that lesson. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Tony. And Greg, you're the last one to wrap up this evening.
Yeah, I know being a trustee is not easy. You don't pick up your packet on Friday and show up on Monday and you're done. I know it will take a lot of shoe leather, hustle, and hard work to get out into the community, to get to know the residents better, hear their voices, hear their ideas. I'm not fooling myself. I'm not the smartest guy in this room right now. You know, I love to hear your ideas. Bring them here. Be your voice here. And then, you know, I look forward to hearing the ideas from whoever I sit up here with. And through debate and compromise, come up with the best plan for Villa Park. And that would be ideal. Many thanks to any support you'd show me on April 9th. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's a great way to end it. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you. We're going to take 5 We're just going to take 5 quick minutes and switch candidates around so everyone keeps seated, and we'll go to the presidents. Thank you. Oh, she had to. Somebody took my questions.
Okay, folks, why don't you just give me 20 seconds in the control room. This is your second forum.
Yes.
This one is now complete.
Yes.
That was an excellent forum. I mean,
I thought they were wonderful.
A
lot of good ideas. Everyone was very respectful of each other, which I was really glad to see. It's so important for our board to be able to work together.
Yeah, yeah. And tell us a little.
Bulls versus Kings tonight at 8:30. This is the home of the Bulls. ESPN 1000. Hi, I'm Dave Martino.
And so they decided, you know what, instead of just complaining about it, they're going to do something about it. So we meet every month. We figure out different ways to help Villa Park. We came up with this. It's the only place that all the candidates get together. And we thought it was just a good way for people to get involved in local politics.
Okay, I know there's lots of people walking in front of us, but
Yes.
we'll keep going. We're on TV. We're on TV. Okay, so tell us how the questions were created for the forum.
We put on our website, we asked local business people, everybody, we just wanted them to submit questions, and then a group of us got together and kind of consolidated and tried to figure out what people seemed most concerned about.
Okay, so when the questions were created, you also gave them to the candidates prior to the meetings, right?
We did. This is very much a forum just to introduce people to the town. We weren't trying to, slip anybody up. We just wanted everybody to be able to be ready and share their good ideas with Villa Park.
Okay. Now, how do people get in touch with the Villa Park Junior Women's Club? Because this is a great service that you're doing for the village.
Really is,
I know
yes.
some ladies will want to help.
Yes, absolutely. They can go to our website, which is vpjwc.org. A bunch of our phone numbers are on there. They can email and come to our monthly meetings. That's all on the website, and we always love new members.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question I didn't ask you before, and I'm not trying to stump you.
No.
After these forums, will the Junior Women's Club be making any endorsements?
We do not endorse a candidate. I feel that's really important that we do not. We have a lot of different opinions in our club, and I would never feel comfortable trying to get everybody to a general consensus. I think it's important to have a diverse group of people.
Yeah. Okay. I'm looking around the room, and we were trying to estimate. We thought there's about 120 people here tonight.
Yeah, this is great. We're so glad to have such a wonderful turnout.
We've had large groups at board meetings, but I think you and I talked as we saw people going in. We should have charged admission.
I know, we should have. We would have brought in some more development, more money to the town.
Have it go directly to streets.
You're right.
That seemed to be a subject they want to talk about.
You're right.
What's coming next?
Well, next we just want people to get out and vote. They can do early voting on March 25th through April 6th, and then actual election day is April 9th. And as far as the Junior Women's Club, right now on our website that I mentioned, we have a scholarship. The girls have a few more. Villa Park girl, it goes to a senior, a high school senior, and they still have a few days to fill that out. And we give a scholarship every year.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
That helps a lot. I know I had kids go through college. I know yours are still young.
Helps. Mine are still young. I have 2 little boys that are still young.
They can take that money and put it for their future.
Exactly.
Okay, what's coming up next on the forums tonight?
The next we'll see the 2 presidential candidates, and same format. We'll give them 2 minutes. We have questions that have come from the community, and hopefully we'll get a lot more really great information.
Okay, great. We've got about 45 seconds, so I'm going to put the mic back on the stand, and we'll let you get 45 seconds break.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for doing this, Angie.
Thank you so much.